and president of Dental, and president of MDCAN, new presidents, and the negotiators from this side, and the heads of all the other affiliate associations of the NMA. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, good day to all of you. I want to start with apologies. We apologize to our guests from the NMA team. We didn't propose that we'll start this meeting this late, but there was a clash in our schedule of meetings. As a matter of fact, this meeting was earlier proposed for tomorrow after Federal Executive Council. But because of the importance and the urgency attached to it, because of the presidential directive to us, especially those of us on the government side, to do all we can to finish the issue of review of the hazard allowance for medical workers, we had to bring this meeting forward so that we can start it. If we end it today, fine. If we don't end it today, we extend. So that is what prompted that. But there was a big clash because the economy of the country is also very important. So both the Minister of Finance, Minister of Budget Office, Minister of State Budget and National Planning, DG Budget Office of the Federation, and all those who have anything to do with money, fiscal side of the economy, they are today rolling out their roadmap for the 2020 to 25 Development Fund of the Federation. That's for the next 5 years. So they are unable to come. We moved down the meeting to this time because that's what when they told us that they will finish. We are still waiting for them because the issue we are discussing is issue of money, an issue that will touch the economy. So that's by way of explaining why we're starting late. So we apologize profusely for that. In any case, we offered you tea and some lunch, but we are told that you people have had, you fill your belly before coming. So we said okay. So we said okay. We'll wait out for them to come and join us. So today's meeting, in the main, as I said earlier, is for us to finalize our discussions on the upward review of the health system hazard allowance payable to health workers. And among the health workers, you are prime, the medical doctors. We have started this journey, as you all know, since March. But along the way, we now had some rumpus and difficulty in proceeding forward because you disagreed on fundamental principles of the negotiation with your allied, your members in the medical team who come under the auspices of joint health sector unions, the nurses, physiotherapists, laboratory technologists, records officers, and etc., etc. So we felt that if we continue that way, we won't end the discussion, especially with the experience we had at the last meeting. And not long after, the president of NMA requested that the meeting become compartmentalized to take each group separately. And in labor negotiation, especially what we call collective bargaining agreement, CBA, it's allowed. When people who are not doing the same work are negotiating an interest, and if they request that they be separated, you grant it to them. The separation can be ab initio, starting from day one, or midway. But that will put a lot of load on the negotiators. That's what it does, the arbitrators. So we had to separate. And last week we took Jehesu here and had some meeting which we consider very fruitful. And they themselves admitted it was fruitful. So in the same spirit, I'm appealing to you people to make this meeting fruitful so that we can lay to rest the issue of paying 5,000 naira hazard allowance. The government is not happy about that. In 2020, it was what even informed government of our own volition to invite you people, both sides, to a meeting where we marked out the COVID special allowance, hazard allowance for medical and dental officers, and then for other allied persons, allied health professionals. And we did it seamlessly. We discussed under one roof. I don't know whether because people were afraid of COVID and death, you all subsumed yourself to conviviality, and we made progress. But today, the divide is there, and my worry is that the divide is even deepening. Having read the altercation in the media between you and Jehesu, which I don't think is healthy, because it's the same team. Reading through those documents, you will not believe that these two group of people are managing a patient, one patient. It's teamwork. Nobody can do it alone. You can't do it alone. They can't also do it alone. So I decided that I'll start on this note so that you cool down your temper and, send out olive branch. I'm spreading olive branch to both of you so that we can make progress. If you are writing what I have read, it will affect this meeting. It will affect it. So please, just slow down. Let us discuss this. There is no discussion that can end forever. Any decision taken that can end forever. Change is permanent. Change is permanent. At one time, the hazard allowance were not the same. At another time, it became same. Up till now, as we speak, it's same. Now we've started a new negotiation. Midway, or initially, people agreed to partner together so that we can arrive at the final destination. But there's a dichotomy now. You people want non-clinical workers and clinical workers. They say they want everybody who works in a hospital environment because the hazard is the same. You disagree. So what we are trying to do now is to ask you to disagree, but agree after disagreeing for us all to agree and move forward. The president gave us privately, he gave us privately a marching order, and I believe that if we people agree after the disagreement that we should agree, we can finish this matter before the end of September. And if we finish it before the end of September, it's to your own advantage. Why? Because it has to be captured in 2022 budget. Why? Because government will also look at its purse. And if it's possible, start payment from the day the thing is signed, from the month it's signed. So we will then, it will then be a win-win situation for all of us. So this is my opening speech to you, in welcoming you. And this is the main object of the meeting. Yesterday, you people told me that that's the delegation from NMA said they needed, if we finish in time today, to discuss the issue of the addendum circular, which have been released, to explain further and to allay the fears that the emolument from this circular removing house officers and NYSC doctors from the scheme of service will not affect, that will not be affected, that is still the same. And I told them, okay, when we finish early today, we'll look at it. So if we make progress very quickly, we'll go into that one and look at it. If not, we put it in abeyance and discuss it again when we go to discuss the implementation of our memorandum of understanding, where it was an issue. Otherwise, this particular meeting is discussing two things: new hazard allowance, retirement age. And the issue of retirement age have been laid to rest. We have taken it that is a foregone deal, and that the Ministry of Health and Office of Head of Service have put in motion the machinery for addressing it. So I think that's where I will stop for now, so that we can go into the business of the day. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
They are colleagues, so
okay.
we will be talking to our colleagues. They've said much that needs to be said. As usual, it's just for me to appeal that we've been on this for too long. Even when there is litigation must come to an end at some point in time. Same for war. Even when there is war must come to an end at some point. So my appeal is to our colleagues that let's shift this sword and get moving in the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians. And more so when the highest authority in the land has intervened. The highest authority in the land. I think it behoves on us as people belonging to a noble profession of medicine to say, if for no other reason, with Mr. President's intervention, let's move forward. That's my appeal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
The Nigerian health sector is boiling and near collapse, occasioned by the industrial dispute. Review of the hazard allowance is one of the demands in the MOU signed amongst many others that the processes are ongoing. I must note that apart from bench fee abolition, all other demands are ongoing. However, they are seriously delaying, and prompt attention is necessary to resolve this anarchy in the health sector. I want to appeal that there is need for brevity and also to reduce all tensions. We expect that because the highest authority, the President of the Federal Republic, has spoken, that also we appeal that the Federal Minister of Health should help maybe to withdraw the National Industrial Court tomorrow to help also the negotiation to be ongoing so that all our interaction will not be subjugated. I also appeal that we tone down the press releases as it affects our engagement. NMA does not want to engage in press war, especially with the good work the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment is doing, unless it's absolutely necessary. We wouldn't want to. NMA is also working towards solving the problems involving our members, particularly those on strike. It's also, I want to state it clearly that NMA is not stalling the process as original thought in terms of the delay on the hazard allowance. And also the divide, there was some fundamental errors. In other words, when we came in, it was fixed by government. And that gave JSU that impression that we all have to be equal, probably because we're following the 5,000 issue. But if you notice, during the COVID allowance discussion, it wasn't fixed. It was graded in categories. And they accepted it and we accepted it. So I think that was where the fundamental error started. And then we always attend all the official meetings and all the engagement because we are interested in resolving any issue in the health sector. It is less than a week to the end of 4 weeks period that we agreed that the MOU of that we signed on the 20th of August or 21st of August on medical lecturer issue should be resolved. Sundry issues apart from the inaugural meeting, there is only one meeting that was held since that MOU that was signed, and that is almost more than 4 weeks now. We thought that there could have been other meetings to follow up that MOU, to review its implementation, to enable us have tangible take-homes to use to talk to our members, especially the ones that are involved in the strike action. But since that time, we have not really had any review of that MOU to know the implementation, apart from the few times that we have come to ask some questions. We call on the government to do our own bit to help avert unnecessary unrest within the health sector. We also call on the federal government at this point to note the agreement of the collective bargain, which was in 2014, on relativity, that in everything we do, one thing NMA is passionate about is that we do not want to erode relativity. On this note, I want to thank the Honorable Minister, who is a colleague, a very senior colleague. Both ministers are big elders. I'm sure by the time they were doctors, probably I was in primary school or I've not even started. We respect you greatly. Our appeal that you should use your good office to fast forward these interactions, these negotiations, to give us tangible reasons to be able to prevail on our colleagues. If you note the MOU, there was a place that it was stated that NMA agreed to prevail on NA to call off the strike. But it was difficult to go with an empty hand because most of the things that we agreed upon that will happen, we realized were only in the processes. They've not really been delivered. That is the ones that can be delivered. So, of course, I was here yesterday with the 4-man committee to see the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, who gave us a warm reception and also showed strong effort to see that those deliverables that have not been delivered will be delivered as soon as possible. NMA do not want strike. I also believe NAD do not want strike if we all do the needful. We sympathize with Nigerians. We regret what is going on, that Nigerians are suffering. But we are working with government as NMA to make sure that normalcy is returned to the health sector. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Some fundamental issues that need to be clear. But the idea of every time unions come here, they are whipping government side, even when government is trying its utmost best. And even when that other side is liable. They have not done their own part. Because go and read most of my MOUs. I do two things. I fix time frame for actions to be done. I also fix those who are to do the action. I will say those who will do the action. If you go to the MOU, you raise the issue of Mesabam and MDCAN and whatever. They have had their inaugural meeting. Before the inaugural meeting, government have placed them all back on commerce. He's here. Chairman is here. I use my powers as the conciliator to say, there is a court judgment, government must obey. Court judgments is not pick and choose. They are not pick and choose. And you don't choose, you want to obey. No matter how bad the court judgment is, affected person must obey. Whether you are government or you are private sector. So I say we must obey. The court has said, place these people back on commerce before I finish this suit, pending when I finish it. Again, we have a presidential committee on salaries and wages. We put every wage on freeze or on hold. So if we go during an emergency and bring people back by force, because there's a circular to that. He didn't do anything bad, but there's a circular. But that circular, we have another higher government body on wages and salaries. So we will have had a look at it before the amputation of people's income in an emergency situation of COVID pandemic. Government is sensitive. I'm sensitive to all those. It's you people who are not sensitive. Because you go on strike during pandemic. While all the laws of ILO and all the laws of the countries said in emergencies, strike is not allowed. Not to talk about people on essential service. If you have a friend in any of the UN bodies, ask him or her. The emergency situations, especially health, where the lives of a small population or whole is affected, will be affected, and their safety is there. I'll distribute it to you people so that you read and increase your. Doctors are supposed to be noble people and educated people. Unless you want to say that what the lawyers are saying about every other person, that the learned people and every other person doesn't know anything, then we will follow the lawyers and agree on that. But doctors are educated people, and if you're educated, learning is part of education. So we must balance things. On this table, we agreed that the people should go back to commerce. You go back to salaries and incomes and wages. If we put up a technical committee here, this is the agreement. And we gave them 4 weeks to work. Within that 4 weeks they were working, they have been inaugurated, we received a 21-day ultimatum. 4 weeks is 4 times 7, 28 days. And you subsume an ultimatum 21 days within 28 days. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fly. And yet we are noble people. And we are leaders of a medical team. If you're a leader, it's your actions that will make you the leader. You earn it. It's not by seizing it by force. No. So, that Mendican and Mesabam issue is there. Government side is doing their own. In the same place, in that memorandum of understanding, we asked you, NMA, to work towards the withdrawal of their cases from National Income, from National Industrial Court of Nigeria, NICN. Today, as we speak, the case is still there. But government have done their own side. They have placed them back on commerce, pending the discussions and everything. And I even assured you that there will be a larger body to discuss the issue, because it involves Ministry of Education, colleges of medicine, where these people are teaching, are part of university system. And what is the issue? Commerce, which is in the university system, and commerce in the health system. There must be a handshake. So when we are doing that, you say government have not done their own part. They have done their own part by returning to status quo, antebellum. But the press will carry it down and go, oh, they say that government is... The same with residency training fund. On this table, government side, budget office of the federation said we have 4.8 billion. Last time we paid 4.2 billion with some skirmishes and stuff. We don't want those small ruffling to occur this time again. And they are shown that there are 4.8 billion. The AIE has been procured and is waiting disbursement. Disbursement, we gave you an assignment. You and the CMDs and postgraduate medical college to work and bring a genuine list. Postgraduate medical college have made submission to Ministry of Health of about 8,000 persons, doctors. And they have discovered about 2,000 don't have registration numbers to say that they are resident doctors. So the list was withdrawn and sent back to that college. The local ARD chapters are supposed to be helping to make that possible. The CMDs are also of teaching officers are supposed to supply names of residents there. More importantly, postgraduate medical college, you're supposed to have a database of your residents. Some of the names there are SMO1, SMO2. Some are PMO1, PMO2. Some are residents who have finished training and gone out, like in the last payment done. Some also are residents who have spent more than 6 years, which the Act gave. So they're supposed to exist. So if you gather 8,000 of such people, why should government pay you? It happened in 2020. And the problem is still there. Those who said they will refund, they are not refunding. The number of people who are refunded is small. The account was opened by Accountant General. So you now sit down here, you castigate government side again. They have put the money, they have put it, it's there. In fact, by yesterday, I was trying to see if I can push them to say, those that have been cleared, let us start payments. That's where we are. But you won't admit that there's error on your side. You say government don't keep agreement. Government sign agreement, memorandum of action. They won't do it. Now, as you come here, they will be saying the same thing. The same government. Buhari and his government. No. Some of us will sit here and you are bad-mouthing this government and will keep quiet. No. Especially when they're in the right. This money is there. It's there. Hazard negotiation. You all participated. When did we start? You know when we started? And government has budgeted this money and said, please finish. Let us start paying this money. We don't like this toga of 5,000. Nobody likes it. And you had disagreement with Joesu. We are appealing to you, let us unite and see how we can navigate this thing. This is COVID period. The problem is still there. So when this thing is said about government, you are castigating all of us who bring out our time to be here. 3 of my directors are sick leave. This one, that last one there, just escaped. I don't know. There was no hospital, nada. Nobody in the hospital. I don't know which hospital she went to, but she has come back from sick leave. My technical advisor, the same. My pansec is just hiding. He went to one hospital, I don't know, and called us from hospital. So you are overworking my people. No, I'm being frank. They are my people. I should tell them. They are doctors. They should know. You're overworking them. They work and they receive the least pay. Some of them directors here earn half of what people earn monthly. Is it not true? Quarter. You see? So why I'm saying this is this idea of government people didn't do this. I don't like it, please. Give government some commendation whenever they do things that are right. No doctor in Nigeria has commended government over the medical residency training fund. Which country in the world is doing medical residency training fund? I've said it over the television, and people say, "Oh, bringing you, cut his head." You can't cut my head. I'm too strong for you to cut my head. You can't. You people don't have the power to. If Obasanjo couldn't cut my head, who are you people? Yes. They say catch him and cut him. You said that we are being paid. That is the truth. So this, you're laughing. This is the first time I see you laughing. Yes, because they say she catch me and cut off my head immediately. They want to make my wife a widow. You can't. She won't allow you to make your husband a widow. Because I'm saying the right thing. So please, let's calm down. There is no rhetorics. We don't want press war with you people. That's the point. It will not do any side any good. But please spare this government. Spare our president. You people are not doing. You're not being fair. We are not owing anybody salary. This government. I said it the other day. Secretary General NMA said, get his head. We are not owing any doctor salary, any genuinely employed doctor salary. There's a difference between salary and allowances. There's a difference. And nobody will tell you there's a difference. They worked in the UK. I have also worked elsewhere. In some places, your salaries are calculated weekly. In some places, bi-weekly, 2 weeks. In some places, 1 month, 4 weeks. Nigeria is adopting the 1 month system. It depends on what system you want to adopt. It's not right. There's a locum provision. And if doctors go and employ locum doctors without passing due process, the chairman of CMB is here. I've spoken with those CMDs, Ibadan, I've spoken with all of them. They agree they made mistakes. The government is doing IPs now. There's a platform. If your name is not on that platform, you don't get money. You don't get monthly salary. What GIFMIS is paying is they are paying what is regarded as allowances of all types. So if you're a locum doctor and you're on GIFMIS, what you're receiving there is allowances. Even though a part of it is basic monthly pay, but it's under categorization of allowances. So that's the difference. So you should also help government. If our earnings have dropped the way it has dropped up to 50% of what the former governments were earning, and we're able to continue paying salaries now without owing anybody, you should help us. The president is a wage earner. He said nobody can owe any wage earner money. And besides, these wage earners are the people who are counting their monies and projecting it on a monthly basis, saving things for school fees and other things. So our memorandum of understanding, we will revisit it at another meeting. President or president, that's not what we are doing for today. But you went into that area. That's why I'm making this clarification. Government side is implementing their own side of that MOU religiously. And part of that implementation is this meeting for hazard, the hazard section. So the other ones also, the circular have been brought. Some of you pointed out to me there is something on the circular on commerce, house officers and NYSC. I said fine. But the important thing is that the circular has come and clarified that there will be no loss of income. Any other thing can be handled. But the initial fear was loss of income and loss of allowances attached to the grade level for that the house officers are presently enjoying and the NYSC people are enjoying. So, are we not doing our own part? We are doing our own part. It's after 4 weeks we'll sit down and review. And the review includes that NMA has done what they said they will do. 1, removing people who are in court with salaries, incomes, and wages. But the briefing he gave me today is that they are still in court. 2, getting the junior ones, our specialist doctors in training, NAD, to call off their strike. You have not done any of them. It's in the MOU. You have some more obligations. So let's leave the MOU and go to our main business of the day. Thank you very much. Okay, gentlemen of the press, technical session for us. You can leave us.